Welcome back to Coding the Sounds of Music. In this video, we will explore more and learn how the human ear works. Be sure you have your hub connected with your unit-to-unit cable to your TI Nspire CX2 graphing calculator. Next, take the time to navigate using the control and the click pad to page 1.24 of the TNS file. Pause your video now, and when you're ready, resume and we'll get started learning the human ear. Page 1.24. Here you will find background on the topic that I'll be discussing on the next page. Feel free to return to this page to review the concepts that are described on the next page. Let's navigate using Control, click pad to the right. Here we find a diagram of the human ear. This is a cutaway that you may or may not have seen before that shows the interior of the ear. Inside of your ear, there are a number of organs that we're going to talk about. But before we do, let's remind ourselves of what sound is. Remember in the previous video, we talked about sound being vibrations that move through air that push and pull on the molecules that make up that air. And when the molecules are crowded close together, that can be described as a high pressure air. And when the molecules are pulled thinly apart, well, that's a low pressure air. And the graph shows when the pressure is high, the graph is high, and when the air pressure is low, the graph is low. And the variation of this pressure can be described as this smooth wave. When sound is directed toward the ear, the outer ear acts as a catcher's mitt to focus all of that sound energy into the ear canal. The ear canal then focuses the energy onto the eardrum. The eardrum is a very thin and sensitive piece of skin. Have you ever gone up in an airplane and had your ears, quote, pop? Well, they don't really pop, but it hurts because the air pressure is different in the airplane, causing that eardrum to either bulge out or be pushed in. Or perhaps you've held your breath and swam to the bottom of the deep end in a swimming pool. Again, the water pressure on the eardrum presses it and distorts it, and that hurts because it's such a sensitive piece of skin. That pressure moving the eardrum either in or pulling it out from the sound moves the middle ear bones. Those middle ear bones are a set of bones that freely move back and forth to conduct that motion to the auditory window of the inner ear. The inner ear is actually the organ of hearing that has a circular structure filled with fluid, and hairs are suspended within that circular structure. As the middle ear bones press and pull on the auditory window, movement is set up within the inner ear organ. High frequency movements penetrate deeper into the rotation where the short hairs are forced to move back and forth. Low frequency sounds only stimulate the hairs in the outer portions of this ring. So different frequencies penetrate within this spiral different amounts. High frequencies go deep in, while low frequencies only make it a little way through. As those hairs move back and forth, there is a nerve called the auditory nerve that can detect the motion of those hairs. In fact, if you just try brushing the hair on your arm, you can feel how hairs are sensitive to motion. Cat whiskers are very long hairs that a cat is very sensitive to. Well, the hair inside of the ear is attached to the auditory nerve, and that nerve can then detect the motions of that hair and send it to a portion of our brain called the auditory cortex. Our brain knows how to process those stimulations into sounds. We then, as young people, learn to associate those sounds in different orders into words. And this is how we learn to communicate with each other. Music can also stimulate the brain into something that we find pleasing. Sometimes loud sounds can actually damage the hair cells inside the inner ear. When this occurs, we lose our ability to hear certain tones. Damage can also cause a constant stimulus to the auditory nerve that creates a continuous ringing in the ears. So take good care of your ears. Now that you know how delicate they are and how they work, protect them from loud sounds by wearing muffled headphones and not turning music up too loud. Stay tuned for our next video where we learn about how a microphone, which is really designed similar to an ear, can be used to record sound and played back later through a speaker we've already learned about. So stay tuned for our next video.